with a binder. And we had a 6-foot binder. And cut the grain, and then you had to shock it to get it to dry out. And then after it dried out, then we start thrashing. The neighborhood would start thrashing.
So they would bring those shocks to
Yeah, we'd bring their shocks up to the thrashing machine.
And that would, take out separate the grain from
the straw, yeah. And that's what we do down in Freeport. And we have people stand around and watch us thrash. Well, that's quite a procedure just to set the thrash machine, My dad taught me how to set the thrash machine and how to level it, and we have a level put on the frame of the thrash machine. And I always like to raise the back end up just part of a bubble on the level, and that did your cleanest thrashing. Yeah.
So the straw was used for bedding.
Oh yeah, straw is used for bedding. Well, even times are tough. Even cows that even eat that straw,
Would they?
Good clean straw. Oh yeah, they would eat it.
Yeah, I remember my dad telling me how when there was during some drought years,
Yep.
where they actually had to go and cut branches off the trees to feed
Yep.
leaves to the
Yep.
cows. Do you remember any times like that?
I don't remember that it was that bad yet when I was growing up. But slough grass, I'd get up pretty tall and cut that and feed that to the cattle. Yeah, of course, like I said, balers wasn't even heard of at that time,
So when the cows would be in the barn in the winter, they would be fed the hay that you harvested
Yep.
in the summer and the oats.
Yep, grain them, and well, we usually ground it.
Okay.
You had to feed mill and grind it up.
Okay.
And let's see, what else can I tell you?
How long did you have horses?
Oh, let's see. Well, I grew up with horses. I used to go barefooted in the morning and get the horses. I'd call them, and they'd come to the barn. Of course, then you had to get them in the horse stall. Then you give them a little grain in the boxes in the stall. Always had to grain your horses. I remember being barefooted, and you had to harness the horses. I was just a little squirt too, and I could barely get the harnesses up over, and I'd step in that horse urine, and you had scratches on your feet and all that would burn just like iodine. Oh yeah. But I love my horses.
Were they the large draft style horses for plowing and pulling wagons and such?
We used to plow with plow the garden and plow with the horses, and it'd be a one bottom plow, and you had two handles, and I still got one of them plows. I got it over at the old log house, and it was made by the Michelson Plow Company here in Argyle, and it's the only one around that we know. And when I started the high school, the buses, we had 2 buses, and they were painted red, white, and blue.
Oh.
And I tell people that, and they can't believe it. I went to school right up here in Argyle high school, the old part, you know. Yeah.
Where did you go to grade school then?
Cherry Branch, down below the East Iota Church. That's where I went to grade school, all 8 grades. Even went to parochial school down there. And
That was during the summer then?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was during the summer.
Who were your teachers?
Arleigh Johnson was our teacher for 7.5 years, I guess it was, and then we had Arlene Gunderson come in, and she taught to finish out the term, and then we got a new teacher for my 8th grade. That was Nina Davis, poorest teacher we ever had. I shouldn't say it, but oh, she was terrible.
Arleigh must have been a good teacher.
He was, yeah, he was. Well, he taught grade school, and then when for parochial school, he taught that too. So.
Then he went from teaching to banking, right?
Yep, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. He,
So at Cherry Branch then, did you have to walk to school?
oh yeah, I walked to school. In wintertime, you'd wear boots, you know. That was 1936 when I started grade school, and that's when we had all the snow. Oh, we had a pile of snow. And then the next year, we had all the ice. Oh man, we went to school with ice scrapers on. And I remember I was going to school, walking to school, and I tripped on the cornstalk in the field. And at that time they'd cut the corn by hand or foot and cut and shocked it. And them stubbles are about that long and just as sharp as they could be. And I slipped on one of them. I had a new bib overall on, and that stubble went right up there, and my dinner pail went sailing down across the hill, and I had to walk clear down with ice scrapers and get my dinner pail.
Now, you talk about ice scrapers,
Creepers.
ice creepers.
Yeah, you wore them on your feet.
Okay, so were they kind of like cleats or something?
Oh yeah, it'd be a cleat, and
Okay.
and I know my folks would make them. They'd take sickle sections, 3-pointed sickle sections, and put them in the fire, and heat them up, and then bend the corners down, and then they use leather harness straps, and that's the way you got around. And that was during the Depression too, so.
And the school was heated by
Coal
okay.
wood, the Cherry Branch School. Yes, Squeaky Olson and Jalmer Olson from Argonne there, they'd haul the coal down to the school, put it down into the cellar, and us kids, we were the ones that fired the furnace. Oh yeah.
So how many were in your class?
In my class,
Was it just your
there
class?
was Everett Montgomery, Donald Pfister, and I was the 3 in the class.
Okay.
And the reason we went to Argyle is because they had agriculture up here. They didn't have it in South Wayne at that time. So us kids, us 3 boys, we went to up here because they had agriculture, and Roy Simpson was our teacher.
So you could choose which school you went to?
Well,
Or did you have to petition out of the South?
No, there was none. We just went because we wanted to go
Oh.
to where they had agriculture.
Okay.
So. And then we tested our own milk, you know. And C.F. Thompson, he was a principal up here, and of course he run the school like a military academy. And we got the key to get into the school so we could go down in the ag room and test our milk, you know, and here comes C.F., we call him Prof. Here he come down and, how did you guys get in here? Oh, he just raised particular heck with us guys, you know, that we was down there. And of course we had them pipettes and we used acid, you know, to test your butterfat, you know. Oh yeah, he just thought he owned that school.
Did you test your milk on a routine basis?
Yeah, every month.
Every month,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, then my dad said we don't have to put up with that stuff, so then we went to Darlington and what do you call it, up at DHIA they called it at that time. Dairy Herd Improvement or something like that, and that's what then we started testing up there. Then they'd bring the samples right down to our place. There was a tray about the size of this little cabinet here. Oh yeah, that growing up here in Arleigh, that was something. And of course, you know, old CF, he had his dress code. The boys wore a dress shirt and a dress pants to school.
Oh, really?
And the girls, they had no slacks, they had to wear a dress. Oh yeah, and then, I remember Irma Golaxon, Irma Bueller lived out here. Just as poor as, that family was very poor, and she had a new dress. Started the school, and by spring it was so washed out that all faded out. But I sure remember her. She was a year ahead of me in school.
How large was your graduating class?
I think we graduated a class of, I think there were 32 of us that graduated. Yeah. I graduated in a class of 49. I got sick, I got rheumatic fever, and I had to take a year over. So I graduated in class of 49, and we got the old annuals yet, you know, and that shows us in that graduating class. Yeah, and one of the, we had 3 that shortly after we graduated, we lost 3 members. Charlene Johnson was one of them. She got killed in a car accident right up north of town here on 78. And Ernie Robertson, he was the other one. He was driving a truck for Glenn Anderson, a semi, and going down below the Owego School. He, the load shifted and over he went with that semi and caught on fire, and he burned in that cab. Yeah, I'll never forget that. You see the pieces of flesh on the burned out cab on the springs. Yeah, that was a bad deal. Oh, let's see, what else can I tell you?
Can we back up a little bit? When you were milking, how did you cool the milk?
We had
milk tanks?
We had cans, you know, used cans, and we set it in cold water, and then we'd stir it, you know, until we get the body heat out of it.
And then, did you take it to the cheese factory?
Cheese factory, yeah.
Twice a day?